Hey, Nick, you're like kind of different. What's going on?
I'm a fucking time traveler.
Well, awesome, dude. Are you serious? But I gotta know, what is the future like?
You can charge your phone by putting it in your butt.
Okay, well, I'm all about that. So, if you're charging your phone with your butt, how do you poop?
When you take a giant shit, smells like Fruity Pebbles.
Oh man, that's great. I love Fruity Pebbles. So, what year did you come from, and how are you still alive?
If you don't have a lot of money, they download your brain into a unicorn's body, but they give you a little dick.
Ah man, that's kind of sad though, to be a beautiful unicorn but have a little dick. I'm sorry, man.
Don't you cry for me, because I get all the unicorn pussy.
Well, hey, congratulations on that. But hey, let's start the show.
Did you want to see my little unicorn dick?
Well, I definitely cannot say no to that. Go ahead and just whip it on out.
Welcome back to the Ohio Podcast Show, where we double wipe with our toilet paper.
Double wipe?
Do you know there's people out there in the world, Rob, that actually do that shit?
No.
I was watching that one show where they try and save money, where they scrape the mayonnaise off the toast back into the jar and shit on TLC.
Yeah.
These people legitimately say they wipe, and they fold it over, and they re-wipe with it again.
Oh, okay. At least you're not wiping with the same shitty part.
You don't. I mean, you
just keep wiping until it's all brown.
You are taking the off chance of cross contamination there for sure. I am almost certain of it. I am not a ass wiping expert by any means. Because in any given moment, if I sit down naked on the toilet seat, like with the lid down, there's going to leave a brown mark.
Well,
how hard I try not to.
I would expect you not to do that for like single ply, like in a public restroom. But I mean, double ply. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to do that.
No problem at all, dude.
That's why it's double ply. Then you fold it and it's 4 ply. There you go.
You're good to go.
You're
Never use toilet paper ever again.
Yeah.
I'm the delicious Robalicious. I'm here with Nick Diggly Dangle Dog. We're here on behalf of the Brahia Podcast. We're happy to serve you this morning.
I like how you said that, the Brahia.
Yeah,
Brahia.
We have a exceptionally fun episode for you.
Woo.
Doing time travel.
It's wild.
We're going to bend your brain.
Mm-hmm.
And if we start doing it really hard and fast, we'll bend your wiener. And you can break your wiener.
I was going to make that same joke.
And has that happened to you before?
Bent my wiener?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's fucking horrible. I swear I fractured it before.
You want that taco hard or soft?
Well, it was hard. Now it's soft. Thank you.
Oh, man. Did it turn colors afterwards?
No, it felt like I felt like it was about to fall off my body, but it stayed there, luckily.
How do you break your wiener?
You fuck hard, man.
I'm going to go hard. I'm gonna go hard.
Yeah, sometimes it just comes out and it doesn't go back in.
Fuck hard.
The right place. You just get that little millimeter of taint, and then it's all.
Oh, Jesus God.
Oh, we're supposed to talk about women.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no.
Right. I fuck like the Titanic drove and just slow and steady. You know
Slow
what
and
I mean?
steady.
Yeah, until I hit that iceberg.
You sound like a tortoise too whenever you do it.
Have you watched those are my favorite. Did we play that the one time?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you guys will check that out.
Yeah, who knows what episode that is.
We would like to say thank you to our Patreon pledgers, starting with the lovely Katie Brooks. Katie, thank you so much for your Patreon pledge.
Following it up by also the lovely Josh Allen. Thank you.
Thank you, Joshua. And Amanda Rhindress. Not Rhinestone. That's Amanda Rhindress. Thank you for your Patreon pledge.
Yes. And then next we got Gary Dean Ambrose. Thank you very much.
We don't talk about Dean Ambrose in this show because he's a bad guy now.
He is. He's a heel now.
And Ronda Rousey got her shit kicked in last night. Did you watch that?
I watched the highlights, but I didn't actually watch
She got fucked
the
up,
event.
dude.
I saw my man won, Brock.
Yeah. Next on our list, Sarah Rosenberg. Sarah, thank you so much for your Patreon pledge.
And then we got Trev Larimer.
I want to say Trev is the one that went to Ireland with Maddie.
Okay.
They met on our closed group, Butt Chuggers Anonymous. If you would like to check that out, it's the worst thing on the face of the planet. The code word to get in, Bill Wilkins.
You got to answer
Go
that.
try it out. And if you have thin skin, don't fucking try it because these people are posting the darkest memes in the face of the planet.
Fire.
There's all kinds of meme fire in there. Don't go in there if you get offended. But if you like to dance with the devil, it's a perfect spot for you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're looking to marry someone, that shit's happening. We have two people that have met from. They're from, I don't know, she's from Ireland, he's from America, and then we have another couple that met in Butt Chuggers Anonymous. Good things are happening there.
Who needs Tinder?
Who needs Tinder? What is Tinder?
Right.
Anyways, fuck it. Next, we would like to say thank you to Anthony Gallo, or possibly Gallo.
Gallo. And then last, I'm assuming this is probably another podcast.
I think it might be.
Or this is my pickup line whenever I leave the bar to meet single men. Meet me in the woods.
You said it wrong. It's, hey, meet me in the woods.
Meet me in the woods.
Meet me in the woods so I can put my meat in your butt.
Womp.
A few episodes ago, I said, I wonder if we have any doctors to listen to us. We had a young lady write to us. Her name is Dr. Page. She's a pharmacy doctor.
Ah.
Okay. She said, you have one doctor listening for sure. But we talked to her a little bit more. Apparently, she's gone through pretty tragic loss in her life. And she said that we've helped her through some of the low points.
Yeah, I saw that. Sweet.
And I said, we are absolutely ecstatic to be there for you. We're happy to make you laugh. We're happy that if we ever need Suboxone strips or Vicodins or whatever, we can hit you up and not get them because that's illegal. I don't even know what Suboxone strips are. I think it's for people that...
I've never heard of that, so I don't know.
I think it's kind of like heroin.
Oh,
It
okay.
helps with pain.
Okay.
But it's not really heroin. I know in the prison they were sneaking them in like gum, packs of gum.
Right.
Sell that shit.
It's always the clergy that does that too. Have you noticed that? In the jail, it was always the clergy.
Is everybody at the prison.
Yeah, it was always the clergy.
Going hard in the motherfucking paint.
Gotta love it.
Now, I don't remember what podcast we are doing a promo swap with,
Surprise.
but I'm dropping it right here. So go check this podcast out.
The kitty's making a lot of noise, sorry.
Kitty is making a lot. Little shitty kitty down there. Whatever this podcast is, they wrote us, and it just now clicked, and I'm not going to forget them, but I'm dropping in their promo right here, so go check them out. And I'm not going to sell these guys short. This is the Spooky Toast podcast with a fantastic promo for all of you butt chuggers and waffle stompers. So go check out the Spooky Toast podcast.
What's going on, butt chuggers and waffle stompers? My name's Bill Wilkins, and I endorse this message.
What the fuck is a butt chugger?
It's kind of the same thing as a waffle stomper. You don't honestly want to know.
I'm not
or
gonna ask.
Yeah,
No.
no, you absolutely shouldn't. My name's Lucius Blackworth,
I'm Zoe Valentine.
and we have a cool little podcast called...
Spooky Toast Podcast.
That's right, the Spooky Toast Podcast, and you can find it wherever you get your podcasts, even on Spotify now.
Listen to us to learn all about the spooky lifestyle.
Yeah, or listen to us if you want somebody to inevitably stalk you and end up outside your window breathing absolutely super heavily because that's what you've always dreamed of.
Or listen to us if you fucking hate yourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're
Listen
there
to
for
it.
you,
We're there
honey.
for you. You can talk to us. You can say anything, and we'll only judge you a little bit,
Just a little.
just a tad. But seriously, though, we will make your butt pucker with absolute spookiness from Spooky Toast.
What the actual fuck? Bro.
I'm Bill Wilkins.
Dropped in right there. Did you feel it, Rob?
Felt it.
I found it all the way.
I felt the wind off of it.
Now, on to our article of the week. Okay, Rob Dog?
I love how this is real time. Really, we haven't even dropped anything in
We
yet.
haven't dropped anything. I have no clue.
We're doing this after the fact.
We're doing raw dogging for Rob, if you know what I mean.
Hey, that's how I like it.
Right. This article fell into my lap about mid-afternoon today. I had no idea what we were covering this week. for
Nice.
my article.
I can't wait till we have an empty spot when we don't have an article.
It's never gonna happen. Never gonna happen.
We're just like, no, okay, let's just kill 5 minutes.
I had one lined up. This lady was getting married, and the night before her wedding, she got a text message from an anonymous person that said, "I don't think he's the person you think he is," and it was screenshots of her husband to be with another woman, and recent text messages where he's saying that he wanted to push her shit in.
Oh.
So the bride to be said, "How am I going to just
Oh yeah, I saw this.
step back and just not go through with the wedding?"
Yeah.
She went to the altar. They walked down the aisle. She turns around and faces the crowd.
Her vows.
And for her vows, she's like, let me tell you how much of a big piece of shit this guy is. So it was pretty anticlimactic, but it was...
Hopefully at least he paid for the wedding, so at least she didn't waste all her money.
I don't think they did party at the reception afterwards, but not him. She said, "I want to celebrate true love and honesty," and they still drank and got fucked up. But now for the Brohio article of the week. A New Orleans man was arrested at a Willie's Chicken Shack after allegedly claiming he was going to blow the bathroom up.
Okay, well, which way are we talking?
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Problem is, the guy claims he was talking about butt bombs, not actual explosives. And yes, this story is a real story. The man in the mugshot, you guys can't see the mugshot because this is a fucking podcast.
Just the guy with the neck?
No, this is not neck.
Okay.
He will be back in for another mugshot soon.
Yeah.
Guarantee it.
Oh, yeah.
30-year-old Arthur Posey, who hit up the Canal Street restaurant at night on November 13th. Employees told police Posey made a violent threat against the place, allegedly saying, "Y'all about to close right now because I'm going to get a bomb and blow this place up." That doesn't sound like he's about to take a shit at all.
Right.
When cops tracked down Posey, he claimed it was a giant misunderstanding, explaining he told staffers he was going to, quote, "blow the bathroom up," meaning he was going to poop his brains out. How many times have you said that before? Someone follows you to the bathroom like, "Hey, buddy, I'd watch out. I'm about to blow this motherfucker up."
Too often.
He's not wrong. He's
Right.
in a fucking chicken joint. That's all they do is
I know.
raise you up off the toilet.
I have a feeling, though, that Willie's Chicken Shack makes the fucking best chicken.
Oh, absolutely.
I bet it's absolutely amazing.
It has to be.
It has to be.
Cops didn't buy what Posey was selling and arrested him. He's now facing 2 counts of communicating false information of planned arson. He's due back in court later this month where he'll try to convince a judge the allegations are just a bunch of crap.
Hi-yo.
He said, "Hold on. You put my chicken underneath the lamp back there. Keep it hot. I'm about to go in here and take me a big old bomb shit."
So, 2 counts of communicating false information of planned arson. I don't get the arson part, but...
"I'm going to take a shit so nasty it's going to burn this motherfucker to the ground.
He said he's going to blow it up, not burn it down.
I'm going to blow it up."
Good for him.
Oh, that's one of those. When you go to those chicken shacks, you go to the bathroom, that's where you see them turds that are laying up on the toilet seat, like with its head out like a fucking cobra.
Right.
Just waiting to butt, and you just don't know about going to a bathroom at a place like that.
The bathrooms
Rob
have
Dog.
never been cleaned.
Right. You got to go in there and do the hovercraft. You got to flip
Yeah.
upside down and hang from your tank and take a shit without your butt touching the toilet seat.
There's mushrooms growing in the corner. Ugh.
That chicken was disgusting. Let me eat these mushrooms.
Right.
Today, we're talking about time travel, Rob.
Yeah, we are.
Do you think it's real?
Who knows?
Who knows? But you're going to find out real quick.
We
in
are
this
going to find
episode.
out. Let's find out.
This is this could possibly be a long episode. It could possibly not be a long episode.
Yeah.
We don't normally know until we're balls deep into this stuff. But I do know next time you're at Chicken Shack and you say you're going to blow the motherfucker up, please be talking about taking a shit.
Please clarify.
I can't wait till one day that we can use an article about one of our listeners. Something that
man.
one of our listeners did, and there was an article about it.
I'm sure there's enough.
There was a former listener who used to beat the shit out of his wife,
Oh, okay.
and then she sent us all the messages and tried to get us,
Yeah.
mixed up in it. I said, "Listen, this is the bros of Brohio. We are not Captain America. We cannot rescue anybody. I'm sorry for your misfortunes." But I still saw the newspaper article.
Oof.
We didn't read it, though.
Yeah. I'm good on that.
Sometimes people put a lot on our plates, expect us to do a lot more than what we should do.
What do you do in that situation? I mean,
We're funny guys. We're just funny guys.
I mean, you can't even say, "Oh, I'm sorry, that sucks," because it's like, I mean, that's not even
One
enough.
thing that ties me up is domestic violence, man. I wish when you're kids and people say, hey, what do you want to be? And they're like, I want to be Superman when I grow up. And some kids are like, I want to do porn. And some kids are like,
I want to beat the shit out of my wife.
I want to overdose on drugs. I want to be a crusader that rescues women that are being physically assaulted by men. That is what I wanted to be when I was little. And I had this, so what do we got here? 13 minutes? All right.
Fuck it, let it all loose.
One night, we were talking in the prison. Late night talks at the prison were pretty good, okay? They said, if you could do one thing in this prison, just no rules, no nothing. You could do...
You're talking to who?
Just some fellow COs.
Okay,
And
COs.
they said, you could have the night, you could do whatever you want. What would you do? I thought about it. I said, I would want all of the people in here that have hurt women and children, I would want them tied up with their, like, lying on their beds, with their asses pointed out, with their pants down. And I would want to come in with a scream mask and a trash bag full of condoms and just clean house just all night long. Just inflict horrible pain. Wouldn't necessarily be my wiener. I'd bring in corn cobs, radiators,
Cactus.
all kinds of stuff that you could shove up people's asses.
Yeah, definitely the child molesters.
But I just fucking hate victims. I hate it when there's victims that can't fight back, man. And I want to be there for those people. That's why I get pissed off when people hurt animals.
Yeah.
Even though I threw my cat this morning, but she bit me for no reason. She took a ride.
You did punt the one that was attacking yours too, but that's understandable.
Right. Shit happens fast around here, okay? But that's what I hate fucking teeth. The listeners of this show know that I don't like teeth.
That's why he doesn't have any. He got all of his pulled a few years back.
Exactly. And that's why I talk so sweet on the microphone. It's because I don't have any teeth. And I fucking hate people that hurt people that can't fight back.
Yeah, I agree.
Go to the bar and fight someone your own fucking size. There's someone there that'll fight you and whip your ass.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
You know, just do your goddamn thing.
Yep.
Whatever. The PSA is over.
Okay.
It's time to get into time travel. As time travel, much like what we were just talking about, is a highly debated, highly scientific topic that makes the ears perk up, even for the casual observers. We have Doctor Who in the mainstream, which I've never watched Doctor Who. It has
me
quite
neither.
the cult following, though.
Yeah.
I know it is good. We got Back to the Future, and we got Star Trek. And speaking of Back to the Future, do you know why Michael J. Fox makes the absolute best milkshakes?
No, I do not. Tell me.
Because he is rich and he can afford the finest ingredients.
Okay.
All right?
I like that.
All right.
A little switcheroo there.
We're going to do something here. We're going to profile a little scientist here by the name of Einstein. He eventually moved on from being a scientist and opened up a chain bagel shop here in America. That's where you can find him now, is peddling bagels here in America.
Okay.
Einstein Bagels, I think is what it's called, right?
Yeah. He also used to make some educational videos for babies.
He did.
Remember that?
Yeah, he did on PBS. Now, listen, guys, sometimes I get fucking confused by science.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think science is that cool. Like, I think it's cool, but I wish I knew more about it.
Right.
The thing about the Delicious Nickalicious is, I'm not a fucking smart guy, okay? I know that. But I can pick you up and drop you on your head and hurt you. I do have that to my advantage. But also, I'm smart when it comes to the moment. Like, if we wake up in the middle of the night and my wife's like, I smell something burning, I'm one step ahead. I'm like, the fucking house is on fire. Let's get out. See, that's how I'm smart. I'm smart in the moment, Rob. But if you want to know how to create nuclear fission, I haven't got a fucking clue. And even if I did research it, I still wouldn't have any fucking idea, Rob Dog.
Honey, the house is on fire. The kid just played the newest episode of our podcast. It's okay.
We got to get out.
Straight fire.
Straight fire. Okay.
Fire.
All right, I get it. But Delicious Nickalicious, I'm not a super intelligent guy, so I'm going to try to explain the scientific reasoning here in a more of a layman's terms, or more something that I could fucking understand, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it.
Because when people try to explain really elaborate things to me, I'm like, can you draw a fucking picture? And they pick up a pencil. I'm like, no, please use a crayon. It's a lot easier for me to comprehend what you're trying to put down if you use a fucking crayon. Okay?
Finger paints?
Please use a yellow crayon so it makes no sense at the end, even more so than what it would right now.
Yeah.
My favorite flavor crayon is yellow. That's why I prefer it. So.
Yeah, I like the taste of yellow.
Jesus God. Einstein's theory of special relativity says that time slows down, okay? Time slows down or speeds up depending on how fast you move relative to something else. So I keep on reading about the theory of relativity, and what it means by the theory of relativity is time only applies to what is relative. So there's all these talks of vacuums, of like travel inside vacuums and wormholes. I was reading about all this different stuff. It started to make a little bit of sense at the end, but I'm reading about how to bend time, how to fucking bend gravity, and there's like scientific formulas behind it, okay? And it all makes sense. I didn't think that you could actually fucking do it.
Just be a magician.
But it's a real goddamn thing. Now, approaching the speed of light, a person inside a spaceship would age much slower than his twin at home.
That's not right. No, I mean, it's definitely right, but
Right.
I mean, it's not fair.
It's not fair
There
at
you
all. Also, under Einstein's theory of general relativity, gravity can bend time.
Ooh.
Now, here's what is awesome about time travel. We have the research that has been put in front of us that we know about right now. There's not a lot known about time travel, obviously. Nothing concrete that is made available to the public. There's
Yeah, I was going to say to public knowledge, yeah.
Einstein, part of what he figured out was there's a such thing as wormholes.
Mhm.
These things are microscopic when they do open up, but you could potentially, with the right matter and the right things around it, you could open up a wormhole large enough for, say, you and I to go through.
Mm-hmm.
But what he's portrayed at this point is the wormholes are very small. There's not a lot you can do with these wormholes. Whew. There's also the theory of black holes, bending gravity, yada, yada, yada. Black holes are when you bend over the waist and you spread your butt cheeks apart for a gentleman that says he can pay you $5,000 to $6,000 a day. You're sitting on a leather couch. I don't know if you know casting room. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
No, I'm not.
Backroom casting couch. You can check that out
It's a
sometime.
famous couch.
You can look it up on YouTube or something like that. But like I said, there's what we know about time travel. Now, the thing for me that really picks at my brain is we can't account for the potential breakthroughs in time travel that the people that live 100 years from now have discovered.
Right.
So, are we living in present day? I'm not fucking high right now. I am not drunk. But there's the talk of all these different realms, all these different dimensions.
If you really think about it, though, there is no present. It's only past or future.
You're absolutely right. And that's the thing about relativity. Okay.
Which will really fuck you up if you think, like, present times. No, there's no present. It's recent past.
Right.
Or near future.
By the time you say it, it's already fucking gone.
Uh-huh.
But if you create a vacuum and you put something inside the vacuum that goes light speed, it's ahead of you in time. Whereas just a moment ago, it was with you in the present. But then it went light speed in this vacuum. It's further ahead in time. Now, the tough thing about time travel is scientists think that traveling into the future is
Doable.
It can happen. It can happen very easily.
Right.
But what they can't connect the dots on very much right now is traveling into the past. Which, that would be fucking awesome if you could do that.
Yeah.
And I have some stories of time travelers included with my research here. But like I said, the most well theorized studies have been done by Einstein in reference to the theory of general relativity. So what this type of time travel would require of us is whoever was time traveling would have to be in a vacuum. The vacuum we speak of is theoretically called a wormhole. A wormhole connects 2 points in space via like a tunnel through a higher dimension. When I say space, you can put one end of the wormhole in your front door and the other end of the wormhole, fucking dinosaur age.
Okay.
Okay. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like space. space. It can be, fucking America, whatever. But that's how the wormholes work. There's the entrance and the exit, and they occur at 2 different points in time. An object entering one end of a wormhole would emerge almost instantly on the other end, even if the openings were separated by trillions of miles, Rob. Fucking trillions of miles.
Yeah, you're looking at like being pushed past the speed of light through that.
Yes. Now, the holdup for wormholes, at least what we were told, it would take an exotic matter to stabilize the vacuum, or tunnel as we've called it. The exotic matter would essentially hold the wormhole open. And what do we mean by exotic matter? No one fucking knows. But theoretically, for your worm, we could put one end of the wormhole here in our recording studio, the other end of the wormhole in 1503, and we could stick our wiener through and get a little handy J from Mona Lisa. From the Mona Lisa, and about halfway through it, you just bend down and stick your head through like, hey, I really like your mustache, bitch. And you just fucking come back. Because then you would know. People that look at the Mona Lisa are like, is that a dude? Is that a chick? Does it got a dick? Does it got a mustache? And you could just put your head through and be like, hey, can I ride that mustache? Mona Lisa? But her name wasn't Mona Lisa. It was Lisa Gangrene, some kind of weird.
It's some French name.
Yeah,
or
definitely.
something like that.
Right. There was one physicist by the name of Kip Thorne. He had an interesting, I guess he tried to break it down.
Anybody with the name Kip has to be like a cool guy.
He is definitely a cool guy. He's wrote some books, and you guys can check his stuff out. But so what he theorized is with these wormholes, so what you would do is you could put a wormhole in your front yard and the other end of the wormhole somewhere in space-time. You put your wife on the spaceship and send her through the wormhole in your front yard. She goes to fucking Uranus somewhere. So, actually, I think what he theorized is you get on the spaceship with her and drive through. So you go through the speed of light, faster than the speed of light, and then you come back at the speed of light. So you're gone for 6 hours, 6 hours both ways. You're gone for 12 hours. But when you come back to your house and you look through the wormhole, you're going to see yourself setting on your chair in your living room, 12 hours ago. And you're going to be able to step out of this wormhole, and you're essentially going to be able to meet yourself. And that's kind of what he theorized. And he breaks it down a lot more. And it would take me 2 hours to kind of go through his entire theory. But he was really hip with the wormholes, and that what you can advance time by accelerating through the wormholes. And if I say wormhole one more time, I'm gonna have to stop recording and masturbate.
It's getting all steamy over there.
And the only people in the room are you and my cat, so she knows the drill. I would probably have to teach you a few things.
That's all right. I'm always up for learning.
No eye contact. Jeez, don't make this fucking uncomfortable.
Don't look into my dick hole.
Oh, now we move on to time travel paradoxes. This is where it gets fucking trippy, Rob, okay?
Yeah.
This is taken from astronomytrek.com. That's astronomytrek.com. If you change that to astronomytricks.com, you get some freak-ass alien bitches that'll suck whatever you need sucked, for sure. Now, the first paradox here is the predestination paradox. Now, stick with me for a second, because the beginning of this is pretty fucking crazy, okay? Well,
okay.
The first half of it's fucking boring. But then it goes on to explain it.
So it's complicated.
Yes. The predestination paradox occurs when the actions of a person traveling back in time becomes part of past events and may ultimately causes the event he is trying to prevent to take place.
So it's kind of like the butterfly effect.
I think it's something similar, but I will move past the rest of the definition here. We'll move on to the example.
Yeah, like don't go back and fuck your great-great-grandmother.
Well, hold on a second. I'm going to tell you about that in just a second.
Unless she's smoking fucking hot.
Right. Imagine that your lover dies in a hit-and-run car accident, and you travel back in time to save her from her fate, only to find out that on your way to the accident, you are the one who accidentally runs her over. Your attempt to change the past has therefore resulted in a predestination paradox. One way of dealing with this type of paradox is to assume that the version of events you have experienced are already built into a self-consistent version of reality, and that by trying to alter the past, you will only end up fulfilling your role in creating an event in history, not altering it.
Ah, okay, I see.
Jesus.
So you're pretty much, you're going back to try to fix something that you think happened, but you going back is what made that happen in the first place.
Right. Something like
So if you wouldn't have gone back,
it's like a destiny type thing is what
Right.
they're trying to allude to here. Oh, God.
Woo.
So is that a fucking barn burner or what?
That's deep. I like it.
Yeah. Now, next is the grandfather paradox, and back on to grandmas here.
All right, let's get the grandfather and
A
grandma.
lot of people traveling in time may want to visit their relatives, but what would happen if you accidentally crashed your time machine on a teenage version of your grandfather? You fucking hit him with your fucking rocket, Rob.
On Futurama, Fry knocked up his grandmother, and that's how his dad was born, or mother, one or the other.
How would you be able to exist? But then how would you be able to travel back in time, killing him in the first place? You see what I mean? Oh, this is the grandfather paradox. Paradox that shows that if you interfere with your family tree, it may result in you not being born at all, a.k.a. Back to the Future.
Maybe that's what you're going for.
Maybe so. I don't know. But then you wouldn't be around to interfere with your family tree, meaning that there's nothing stopping you from existing. Now, if I went back in time, just like you said, I'd try to fucking smash my grandma.
Right.
Because going back, you're not really born yet. You're just part of that. You know, you're going back in time. You're not necessarily her grandson yet, but you sure would like to give it a ride.
But what if going back with the predestination paradox? What if you were supposed to go back?
What if you were? But I know how I would get my fucking grandma on the sack. I got some fucking bingo cards and some caramel creams.
Some scratch offs.
Oh, you sure do know how to make grandma moister than an oyster, don't you? Get in here. Let me see you with your... Let me see your dick. I haven't seen a dick in a long time. You're an awful big boy. You ever found a woman that's moister than an oyster? Listen to me when I squeeze my legs together real hard. You feel that?
So gross.
That's Granny.
That's granny oil.
Actually, it's not Granny because you're a time traveler. None of this is wrong. This is all allowed to happen.
Oh, man.
Would you bang your grandma?
No, I think I'm good.
Not a chance.
No.
Oh, man. And if you turned us off just then and you came back, this is what the Brohio podcast is all about. You think you're done?
I guess I already see the 1-star review. I was all about it until they started talking about fucking their grandmas.
We had a 1-star review this week that said the name of the person was I Have a Tiny Cock.
Was it really?
Yeah. And they're just insulting themselves so we wouldn't have the opportunity to. And it said, these guys think they're so funny, ... douches. I don't know if it's douches or deuces. Like he's leaving. Like, I got a tiny cock. I'm out of here. But I just laughed about it.
It's so clever.
It is. So we can't get on here like, hey, this guy's probably got a tiny cock. Because right off the rip, he's like, hey, got a tiny cock, but these guys are fucking stupid.
Oh, it's so funny.
You sure do know how to make me moister than an oyster.
Now there's the Hitler's murder paradox, because what would Brohio be without talking about Hitler for a little bit? This paradox is a variant of the grandfather paradox. This one trips me the fuck out, Rob, okay?
Okay.
If someone wanted to go back in time and murder Hitler before World War II started, because there's probably 1 million people in the world, they say, if you could go back in time and change one thing about anything in the history of the world, what would you do? I'll go back in time, get down Jesus off the cross, because that probably fucking hurt them goddamn nails up in his shit. Some people would say, I'd go back and kill Hitler and save all the Jews in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent thing to do. But, listen to this, maybe not. Some people they'd go back in time and murder Hitler before World War II started. They could think that by doing so, they could save a lot of lives by preventing the war. But if Hitler died before he became known, then you wouldn't know who he was and therefore have no reason to travel through time to murder him in the first place.
Woo.
Is that registering with you right there?
Yeah,
It makes sense, doesn't it?
it does. It very well does.
That's the paradoxes. That's the paradox of time travel.
I don't like it.
I don't like it at all. So you can go back and change time, but ultimately fuck time up so bad that you just make things worse than. So maybe that's the way things are, the way they are. And Rob,
That's what happened on if you ever watched the 11/22/63. The
dab on the dark webs.
it was on Hulu. James Franco was in it. It was where he goes back to try to stop Kennedy's assassination.
Oh, I never watched that.
Fucking amazing. Watch
Really?
it. I'm not gonna. It kind of goes along with that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a little diner and there's a like a wormhole in the guy's basement. He goes down there. It takes him to 1963. Good shit, man. Gotta watch it.
I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
And next is the bootstrap paradox. Oh, buddy. A bootstrap paradox is when an object, so we're talking about taking dildos back in time now, a piece of information or even a person is sent back in time and has no discernible origin. An example would be if a young this is fucking heavy shit right now. If you guys are smoking out to the Brohio podcast, pause us for a second. Stop and hit the bong like Cheech and Chong, because this is about to get real heavy for you real quick. An example would be if a young musician was sitting alone in their room trying to write their first #1 hit.
Okay.
When suddenly, Jimi Hendrix, he's sitting in his room, he's writing fucking Purple Haze, okay?
Okay.
When suddenly an older version of Jimi Hendrix then appears from the future and teaches young Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze, the song that made him famous. When the musician became older, they would then have to travel back in time and teach their younger self the song, meaning that the song would have no original creator. No one ever wrote the song.
That's fucking crazy.
It is.
Yeah, I get it. That's really weird.
And
I've never thought
that's
about that.
The paradox of time travel, okay? So by him going and teaching himself the song,
Yeah.
then he never created the song in the first place.
Because that's one thing I always said that I would do if I could go back in time, is
Yeah.
I'd go back and I would just
I'd
take...
write Good Riddance by Green Day.
I would steal everybody's shit.
When I come around.
I would just take like every like hit that I could think of and just be like, oh, fuck yeah, I wrote this.
Yeah. But no, there would be no origin of this song. There would be no creator. There would be no Casper. You know,
Man.
I am the creator of this slide. This is the Casper slide part 2. No. If future Casper came back to see present Casper, vice versa, to teach him the Casper slide, no one ever created the Casper slide.
I don't even know what that is.
Then how are our balls getting sweaty at the school dances if we don't have the Casper slide, the cha-cha slide? Actually, that's what it's called.
Oh, okay.
To
Yeah.
fucking dance to, Rob. It doesn't make any sense. None of this makes sense. We're 35 minutes and I can't connect any of the fucking dots. So now we have some examples of people that claim to have been in time slips, venturing down wormholes, and time travel in general. First, we're starting off with Victor Goddard's airfield time slip. Now, this one's pretty fucking trippy.
He has too many D's in his last name.
You
don't like
know,
He got all them D's.
I got all that D up in me. They said to put a little D in me. I said, why put a little bit of D in me when I can fit all the D's in me?
I got 3 in me. I don't need no more.
You think you could fit 3 dicks in you right now?
One in my ass, one in my mouth, one in my dick hole. I can try to stretch it out.
3 Bud Ice can sized dicks inside of you.
Oh no.
The value 3-pack.
Oh no. Maybe like a couple of Virginia Slims I could slam.
I could get about 3 of them Virginia Slim dicks in me. I like those. Those are comfy. Oh, in 1935, Victor Goddard, with all the D's, flew over what would have been the RAF Station Drim in Scotland on his way from Edinburgh to Andover, England. I probably said those wrong. The Drim station was no longer in use after demobilization efforts following the First World War. It had mostly been left to its own devices. And indeed, that's what Goddard said he saw as he flew over the Air Force Base, a largely abandoned airfield. On his return trip, though, things got weird. He followed the same route he had on the way there, but during the flight, he got waylaid by a storm.
Okay.
That's how you know you're beating the pussy up. You get done and you just look at her. You light your cigarette, and she's just like,
I heard you got 3 Ds.
yeah. You waylaid that shit. As he struggled to regain control of his plane, however, he spotted the Drim airfield through a break in the clouds. And when he got closer to it, the bad weather suddenly dissipated. But the airfield wasn't abandoned this time. It was busy with several planes on the runway and mechanics scurrying about. Within seconds, though, the storm reappeared, and Goddard had to fight to keep his plane aloft again. He made it home just fine and went on to live another 50 years, but the incident stuck with him. Indeed, in 1975, he wrote a book called The Flight Towards Reality, which included discussion of the whole thing. But here's the really weird part. In 1939, the Drim airfield was brought back to life. So that would have been 2 years after Goddard flew. So did Goddard seek a peek into the airfield's future via a time slip back in 1935? Did he go back in time when it was functional? Did he go forward to 1937? But he claims the break in the clouds, he saw a fully functioning airport. When in all actuality, this was a completely defunct airport with nothing there, no one within miles.
He got in a little time hiccup.
He said, I'm so scared right now. I don't know what the fuck to do. Where do you go shit inside of a plane? What? I mean, you ever shit inside of a flight suit before?
Imagine how bad that would stink after you unzip that fucker.
If you're in the bathroom when that happens, are you taking a shit for 5 years? I've been pooping this same turd for so long.
Oh, my legs are so asleep right now. If I stand up, I'm definitely going head first into the stall door.
My booty hole's never going to be the same.
You ever sat on a toilet that long before?
Your legs go numb?
Yeah.
Yes.
You got to pull your pocket knife out and start stabbing yourself in the leg to get feeling back?
Usually like 7 games in the Clash Royale. I'm like, I need to get the fuck up sometime today.
Yeah. Oh, man. Last bird. Angry Bird's in the toilet's what does it to me, man.
Angry Bird.
Now this one is from more recent time. This is from the early 2010s.
I think this is about me.
Back in 2011. This is called the Hipster Time Traveler. We got a lot of hipsters. None that listen to the Brohio podcast.
No.
In the early 2010s, a photograph depicting the 1941 reopening of the South Fork Bridge in Golden Bridge, British Columbia, and Canada went viral for seemingly depicting a man that looked just a bit too modern to have been photographed in 1941.
Lumbersexual.
He looks, in fact, like a time-traveling hipster. Graphic t-shirt, textured sweater, sunglasses, the works. And I saw the picture.
He was just ahead of his time.
No, dude. This
The
guy
trendsetter.
looks completely fucking out of place. The photo hadn't been manipulated. The original can be seen here, so what the heck was going on? Well, Snoops has plenty of reasonable explanations for the man's appearance. Each item he's wearing, for example, could very easily have been acquired in 1941. Others also backed up those facts, but the bottom line is that it's never been definitively debunked, so the idea that this photograph could depict a man from our time who traveled back to 1941 persists. And I've seen the picture. This guy is completely out of place, just like hipsters always look. Just standing there like, I really don't know what the fuck to do right now. Just don't want to get anything. I don't want to get this beer in my beard. Beard is weird.
Just
This beard is weird.
I don't. Fucking beard is weird.
If I don't want to get. If I get cum in my beard, that's not that big of a deal. I just don't want this beer. I don't want this beer in my beard.
Been looking for new moisturizers.
Jesus,
It works. Try
does it? We'll find out here in a little bit.
Try it.
Highway to the Past. I'm gonna let you take this one, Rob Dog.
Oh, thank you. Because this is in my favorite year, October of 1969.
The first be a 60. Born at the 5 and down.
Good song.
Yeah.
A man identified only as LC and his business associate Charlie. Of course, you gotta have a business associate named Charlie.
Do you know what LC stands for? Stands for lazy cock.
I've been there. It's so sad. I'm just so tired. They were driving north from Abbeville, Louisiana,
Louisiana.
towards Lafayette on
Oh,
Highway.
you said it wrong. Lafayette.
On Highway 167. As they were driving down the nearly empty road, they began to overtake what appeared to be an antique car traveling very slow. The two men were impressed by the mint condition of the nearly 30-year-old car. That's 30 years old. Look how good it looks.
Hey, pull over. Nice fucking car. Pull over.
It looked virtually new, and puzzled by its bright orange license plate, which has said bright orange. I think that means you've OD'd. So they mark it.
That's not a DUI. That's an OD.
It's an OD. It's an OD plate. We got those in Ohio, which said only 1940.
That's how many times a person's overdosed.
They figured that the car must have been part of an antique auto show.
It gets 15 Narcans to the gallon.
As they passed the slow-moving vehicle, they slowed to get a good look at the old model. The driver of the car was a young woman dressed in vintage 1940s clothing, and her passenger was a small child likewise dressed. The woman seemed panicked and confused. Elsie asked if she needed help, and though her rolled up window indicated yes, Elsie motioned.
Please fucking help me.
Please, God. Elsie motioned for her to pull off to the side. The businessman pulled ahead of the old car and turned onto the shoulder of the road. When Charlie got out, the old car had vanished without a trace. There was nowhere the vehicle could have gone. Moments later, another car pulled up. The driver told Elsie and Charlie that he had seen their car pull to the side, and the old car simply vanished into thin air.
Jesus.
Woo! That's a good one.
Do you know how much trouble that time traveler had? Like, if you went,
that woman was just panicking. I need help.
Like, the one rule of fucking time traveling is when you go someplace else, you don't tell them that you're a time traveler. And then for her to be at the point where she's like, yeah,
you're like 30 years in the future.
I do need help.
What the fuck is going on?
I'm tired of telling people I don't need help. Please fucking help me.
We went to the moon?
I've been wearing the same panties for 3 months. Please help me. I smell like swamp water and dead turtles. Hotel Time Warp.
That's an 80s song.
It is. Two British couples vacationing in the north of France were driving looking for a place to stay for the night. It was 1979. As they drove, they noticed signs that seemed to be advertising a very old-fashioned circus.
Okay.
The first building they came to looked like it might be a hotel, but the men standing in front of it told the travelers that it was an inn, and that a hotel could be found down the road. Further on...
You don't belong at this inn, lady.
Yeah, you're at the wrong end, bitch. Further on. You don't know how many times I've had to tell someone that before. Hey, wrong end. Don't lead with the batteries, you asshole. Further on, they did find an old-fashioned building marked hotel.
You couldn't tell from the outside it's a
Right.
fucking hotel.
Inside, they discovered almost everything was made of heavy wood, and there were no modern conveniences such as telephones. The rooms had no locks, only simple wooden latches. The windows had wooden shutters, but no glass. What's wrong with all that wood in your life?
What the fuck is going on at this place?
They are not. Mind you, this is 1979. Shit didn't fucking look like this.
Right.
In the morning, while the travelers were eating breakfast, two police officers entered wearing very old-fashioned caped uniforms.
What are you doing here? See, I'm trying to figure out what you're doing.
I'm trying to figure out a crime. Someone's committed a crime. We're looking for contraband.
There's been a murder.
After getting what turned out to be a very bad directions to Avignon, the couples paid a bill that came to only 19 francs, which I believe is the American equivalent to 13 sand dollars, if I'm correct. After 2 weeks in Spain, the couples made a return trip through France and decided to again stay at the interesting, if odd, but very, very cheap hotel. Hey, you remember that place where we fucking shot crack cocaine into our asses and they didn't bother us for 3 fucking days and only cost us 19 francs?
It cost us 33 toenails.
It only cost us 19 beef francs.
This is so good. It sounds delicious.
Mustard and relish, toasted bun, a little bit of chili sauce.
I've never had relish. Fun fact.
Okay.
I'm kind of sad about it.
We used 19 beef francs to pay for our hotel room.
Ballpark francs.
We're going back, brother. Let me tell you something, Mean Gene.
Can you imagine just getting paid, like someone whipping out their wallet and it's just full of hot dogs? And they're like, oh, these ones look good. They're like running them underneath their nose.
Hold it up to the light.
This one's got a good bouquet.
Oh, sir, your money's no good here. Unless you got some turkey francs, then we're talking.
I want to pay with hot dogs somewhere.
I'm on the keto diet. I need turkey francs. I can't do the beef francs.
You can pay with bacon if you're on keto.
If these hot dogs aren't enough, maybe these sausages are.
This time, however, the hotel could not be found. Certain they were in the exact same spot, they saw the same circus posters, they realized the old hotel had completely vanished without a trace. Photos taken at the hotel could not be developed. That's pretty fucked up.
Uh-huh.
And a little research revealed that French police officers had stopped wearing caped uniforms in 1905.
Ooh, man, they're way out of date then.
We're here for a murder.
Did somebody say moita?
Someone choked on a fucking hot dog. Why do these French cops have New York accents? I don't know. They're fucking time travelers.
Anytime you're talking about old police officers, it's way better to think of them as like old New York cops.
Why do you call the New York accent a Boston accent? It sounds like Bostonian. I have no fucking clue anymore.
It's Boston.
Now this next one's from Reddit, okay?
All right, take this with a grain of salt.
Completely terrifying, though. All right, this comes from the thing that will. I believe this is the person's username.
Yeah, it's username. Yep, that's terrifying.
Time travel exists, but it's more horrifying than you can imagine.
Whew.
This one's a little bit long, so
I'm already reeled in.
I'm going to pause and I'm going to save because this is a really good story. So hold on. All right, it says time travel exists, kind of. Sorry, I cleared my throat there. Hundreds of years from now, future humans are going to think the form of time travel we have is archaic, akin to a manual typewriter or a telegraph. That's basically as far as the technology has advanced with the development of the future message system. And that's FUTRMSG in all caps, the future message system. We can send short text-based messages back in time. The current limits can only send it back 24 hours. But through that miracle, we can change our past, avoid disaster, bypass financial ruin, cheat death. As long as it fits within the short character limit, you can send yourself any kind of warning or advice. The reality around us automatically accommodates the changes you make.
It's time traveling Twitter.
Right, so you can send a text message to yourself the day before to say, fucking don't buy that fucking waterbed. It's gonna cause a lot of problems.
Don't accept hot dogs for payment.
Yeah,
If you come to a fork in the road and a man pulls out a wallet with a bag of hot dogs in it and he tries to put the hot dogs in your ass, you offer to eat the fucking hot dogs before he puts them in your butt.
Just the visual of somebody just pulling out hot dogs is the funniest fucking thing.
You tell him you don't want those hot dogs in your butt. You want them in your mouth.
It's just a cigar case. It opens it up and just hot dogs.
You need to fall to your knees and start cramming those fucking hot dogs in your mouth. Because if you don't do it, he's got about 15 goons with him that's going to come out there at the fork in the road. And they're going to put an entire bag of hot dogs in your butt. You're going to fucking bleed to death. Don't accept the hot dogs as a method of payment.
I don't know what's so funny about hot dogs, but it's fucking hilarious.
Take MasterCard or Visa, not hot dogs.
So back to future message.
Oh, I'm crying.
You can take text messages and you can send them back 24 hours. Okay, that's what the story is trying to tell us.
Okay.
So, like we said, we can cheat death, bypass financial ruins, avoid disasters, yada yada. But unless it affects our lives, we can't even feel or perceive reality changing around us. At first, the messaging system was confined within government headquarters, but once the private future message company replicated the technology, this miraculous technology was made available to the public. Kind of. When I say, quote, available to the public, I don't really mean the public. The system is exorbitantly prohibitively expensive. It costs many times more than most families' annual salary to send even one message. I could see that making sense.
Whew.
But for some, that's just a drop in the bucket, and our society has splintered even farther into the very, very rich and the extremely desolate poor. The rich have infinite redo buttons they can push to create perfect, error-free lives, and the rest of us suffer in the dirt. Just think about that. Think about that for a second.
It's just like any other day for the rich.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the stock market crashed today? Good thing I got all my money out of it yesterday. I think I'll take my iPod and go listen to the Bro Isle podcast while I count all of my fucking hot dogs.
I've obsessively imagined changing my past, avoiding the spectacular misfortunes I've had. I once dreamed that I sent a message to my past self telling my husband not to go on the bus the day a crash ripped his body to shreds. But as the dream started to melt away, I woke up to my filthy, tiny home with my young son, Luke, tugging at my sleeve about how hungry he was. You got to remember the name of her son, Luke, here. He was sobbing. My heart breaks for him. Luke is all I have left. The reality is that when my husband died, I spent the 24 hours after the accident frantically begging for money on the streets among the teeming crowds of unfortunates pleading for help. My city is a sea of poverty and purgatory for the dead, waiting in limbo to be resuscitated by a message from the future. But they almost always stay dead. Tonight, there was a knock at my door, and a small glowing capsule was delivered. A message said, "From future message." What? How could a version of me 24 hours in the future possibly afford this? What could this be? How could it be more dire than my husband's death? I press my thumb into the white orb as it scans my thumbprint, and, oh my God, the color drains from my face as I read the message. I start shaking. How could I have possibly sent this? What happens? I read the words again, and yet they still say, "Kill Luke right now, I beg you." Which is her son.
Yeah.
Phew. Wee.
Man.
What a fucked up story, though, man.
Yeah, it is.
Kill the boy. Kill him.
Did she kill him? I just want to know.
Definitely. You definitely have to at that point. It says, "Kill Luke right now, I beg you."
I wonder what circumstance would have made that more beneficial.
Maybe
because you're going to go to prison.
Maybe he burns the house down with her inside of it. I have no fucking clue.
I don't know.
Draw your own conclusions from that story.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead and write us, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think Luke did to be warranted a murder. What he did to deserve being fucking killed. Jesus, man. And one of the more famous ones here is John Titor.
Titor.
As I like to call him passionately here in the Brohio studios, Johnny Tits. On November 2nd, 2000, we saw the first online message board posting from Johnny Tits.
Yeah, we did.
Titor claimed to be a man from the future sent to the past to retrieve a portable computer.
Who calls them portable computers?
Yeah.
I'm coming back in time to find a laptop.
I'm writing this review on my portable computer as I sit here and count my hot dogs.
But the thing is about the story is the computer that he needed had a specific type of code on it from IBM. And he said the code that was written was there were certain features of this code that was never advertised to the general public. There's certain things about this code that people don't know. And then one of the guys that fucking retired from IBM said, absolutely, positively, yes, this person is correct about everything they're saying in reference to the code from this computer from the 1970s. Yeah. Now, prior to that, though, old Johnny Tits was sending faxes to none other than Coast to Coast AM.
Gotta love it.
The craziest motherfuckers in the entire world.
R.I.P.
He claimed that he was from, this is when Art was at the...
When Art was the main man.
Not the fucking shit show it is now.
I'm George Norrie, and this is Coast to Coast. If you're west of the Rockies, don't call because you don't have telephones. If you're east of the Rockies, this is a recorded show, and you'll never get through.
Not that I know this, but I've never called. I've never called before.
You sounded really aggravated there.
I did call. Like, sir, are you masturbating? I'm just trying to talk to George Norrie. Yeah, like I said, old Johnny Tits. He was from the year 2036. Not that far in the future anymore.
No, not anymore.
According to John Titor's post, he was an American military man based in Tampa, Florida, working for the government as part of a time travel initiative. In his post, he detailed the extent of the project and the results of his findings. He claimed that he had been selected for the project due to his paternal heritage. His father's father had worked for IBM in the 1970s and had worked to create the IBM 5100, an early computer model. Johnny Tits said that in the year 2036, he had been selected to travel back to 1975 and obtain an IBM 5100, which would help future scientists in decoding a computer program.
Okay.
And he made a personal promise to his grandpa that he would stop in the year 2000, but old Johnny Tits would not disclose the reasons for which he needed to stop in the year 2000. In the case of the machine, Titor was sent to retrieve the IBM 5100. The time traveler described a special feature of the machine which had not been publicly announced. Bizarrely, some of these computers are said to hold a special code which stopped being used after the 1970s. In 2004, a few years after the Titor mystery, Bob Dubke, an engineer who helped design the IBM 5100, did indeed confirm that such a feature existed. So, John Titor, he would go on to say he would make several posts in these message boards. In one post he says, if you want to survive the coming conflict, learn to let fear keep you alive. Too many of you turn off the life-saving natural instincts, premonitions when it's convenient. The same person who has 5 deadbolt locks on their door will think nothing about getting into a parking garage elevator with a total stranger. If you want to live, keep your eyes open. And that's what he says about the year 2036. Sounds like everyone's out to fucking kill everyone. It sounds like some Jackie Chan shit. You can't even get on the fucking elevator without getting your shit pushed in. You gotta get your nunchucks out and start hitting people in the fucking hot dogs. Hey, let me see your hot dog. He also says the Civil War in the United States will start in 2004. I would describe it as having a Waco-type event every month that steadily gets worse. The conflict will consume everyone in the U.S. by 2012 and end in 2015 with a very short World War III.
Womp, womp, womp.
Well, you think about it for a second. With the... he says they're having a Waco-style event every month. And look at the fucking... look at America right now. We are having mass shootings at a staggering rate. It seems like every month there's another newspaper headline of some place where there's a mass active shooter type situation. And then you also think about between 2012 and 2015... we've had, I don't remember when the stuff that happened in St. Louis, the race, kind of like the race riots in St. Louis, or what they were called.
Mm-hmm.
Or,
yeah,
it's kind of leaving me right now, but it feels like we are locked in more of a race war than, I didn't live in the 1950s and 60s, obviously, when Martin Luther King was marching on the pavement, but there is definitely a racial divide in this country right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And to call it a civil war, I wouldn't necessarily do that, but you see the way this last presidential election went with Democrats and Republicans and Antifa, all these violent, just demonstrations and all kinds of fucking bullshit. Call it what you want, but that's war to me. Those are people hurting each other with weapons. Those are people that would kill one another for a cause, and that's what war is killing one another for a certain cause. So you think about time travel, and the thing about time travel is time would never be necessarily set in stone, because there would always be the possibility of someone going back and changing what happens. So maybe Johnny Tits was onto something.
Johnny Tits, I love it.
Was it? He also said, I would be any more believable because people were mocking him and saying, you're a fucking fraud. You're a fucking fake asshole, Johnny Tits. He said, would I be any more believable if I told you I had just stopped a horrible event and you won't hear about it because it didn't happen? I don't want the responsibility of being expected to know who lives and who dies. I know it would change me for the worse. Besides, how can you be sure my inaction now isn't a result of something I've already screwed up and I'm trying to fix it? The example of not preventing Pearl Harbor relates to Y2K. Have you considered that I might already have accidentally screwed up your world line? He says about the machine that launches him back in time, he says, the means by which I travel in time is very physical. I require a machine to do it. It weighs about 500 pounds and gets quite hot, just like my pussy. I do not own it, and I did not build it. Within limits, I will happy to discuss how it works and how future science thinks time works.
Okay.
He said by using two micro-singularities in close proximity to each other, it is possible to create and manipulate and alter the Kerr fields to create a Tipler gravity sinusoid.
Okay.
There you go.
I'll take your word for it.
This field can be adjusted, rotated, and moved in order to simulate the movement of mass through a donut-shaped singularity and into an alternate world line, thus safe time travel.
Whew.
And there was a guy that went on and said, well, that sounds pretty fucking cool. And he tried to patent this design after these things were being posted on these message boards.
Good for him.
So all of these people, they're kind of on these message boards, they're asking him questions and almost mocking him. And he's answering the questions. The one guy named Charles Moultrip, he asked on January 31st, 2001, he says, why would you want an IBM 5100? I can find them at auctions for next to nothing. I think they were the first 286 CPUs. Why don't you stop in this year first and buy one? Well, I have a good question for you in 2036. Do you still use toilet paper to wipe your ass? John
Asking all the important questions.
Old Johnny Tits says the 5100 had a very simple and unique feature that IBM did not account for, and it decided it was not in their best interest to advertise, which in hindsight was not very smart. This accidental feature was thus removed from any future desktop computers. In order to take advantage of this feature, the 5100, I have now required a couple of special tweaks that had to be done by one of the software engineers in 1975. Anyone who is familiar with this feature and was told to keep their mouth shut about it will be able to tell you what it is. And to answer the question about shitting and wiping your ass, he said, yes, we still have toilet tissue, and some people still suffer from extreme anal fixation.
Okay.
So, there we are in 2036.
Still haven't solved that problem.
This is the Pro Hair Podcast coming to you live from the day room at Countryside Elderly Care. I'm Delicious Nickalicious. Rob Dog died about 3 months ago.
Why do I have to be the dead one?
He choked to death on a wiener. Someone tried to pay him with hot dogs, and he ate them all. And he never tried relish before. Now he's dead. He died in his own shit.
Maybe I am Bill Wilkins. I'm just traveled in time.
You never know.
Who knows?
So old Johnny Tits, he went on to make several, I guess, prophecies, but they wouldn't be prophecies necessarily if he lived in that year. So he's just telling you what it is.
Right.
He predicted the Iraq War. He actually predicted the lies that multiple administrations would tell the American people who would lead to the Iraq War. The strangest thing is that he specifically mentioned WMDs before they were brought to national attention. Titor wrote, none of the things I have said will be a surprise. They were set in motion 10, 20, even 30 years ago. Are you really surprised to find out that Iraq has nukes now, or is that just BS to whip everyone up into accepting the next war? And if you do remember, you heard a lot about weapons of mass destruction from a prior administration that did kind of scare us into a war with Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
And old Johnny Tits called this before it happened, which is pretty foreboding there, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, definitely.
So to move on to some of his other predictions, one of the many hot takes that Titor brought back from the future was how people in his time viewed Americans from the past, and it wasn't flattering. He wrote in a post around 2000, "Perhaps I should let you all in on a little secret. No one likes you in the future. This time period is looked at as being full of lazy, self-centered, civically ignorant sheep. Perhaps you should be less concerned about me and more concerned about that." Aside from that sick burn, he also offered up some tips on how to survive the future. He said, "Learn basic sanitation," he wrote. "Learn to shoot and clean a fucking gun. Consider what you would bring with you if you had to leave your home in 10 minutes and never return." Doomsday preppers.
Right.
So that's old. A lot of people went crazy over Johnny Tits because I guess his method for time travel, the machine that he spoke about, no one had ever really put it like that before. Explain the machine. And some people were like, that actually makes a little bit of sense. And why would this happened in the early 2000s? So at that time, it would be safe to make the assumption or to make the thought and say, well, who would just make up something like this? But then flash forward to 2018 and you're on the fucking internet and you're like,
fake.
Yeah.
Fake.
Next. Fake. Who would make up something? Well, everybody would make up something like this.
Right.
Just a few weeks ago, I read on Facebook, it says, "Everyone stop the presses. Here, all 8 Harry Potters are coming to Netflix."
Man, November 1st. I've been fucking waiting patiently.
Look today, not fucking happening.
Not one of them.
It's not happening.
No.
It was someone made it up. It's a lie. I guess it's region-based, so I guess like Belgium and some other place that serves waffles is getting
I
it.
was going to say, they got the waffles. Well, they don't need Harry Potter, too.
Yeah, just give us Harry and you keep the waffles.
Fuck,
Okay?
I mean, every now and then you can catch the marathon on like TV, but then you got to watch the damn commercials. Come on, Netflix, do something right.
Belgium dip. Now let's move on to one of my most favorite time traveling stories ever. We've actually talked about this gentleman before in prior episodes. You might not remember it, but it may re-jog some of your memories. This is the gentleman from Taured. Okay? In 1954, a man trying to get through customs at Haneda Airport in Tokyo, Japan, had a bit of trouble with customs agents. It wasn't because he forgot to declare something on his customs form. It was because he claimed to be from a country that didn't exist. And he had a fucking passport and stamps to prove it. In 1954, you can't just, counterfeit something like this.
Yeah.
Stamps and a passport. You don't just make stuff up like this in 1954. His passport was from a country named Taured, which he claimed was in between Spain and France. And when customs officials pulled out a map and asked him if he meant Andorra, he became angry. He said that yes, the location was right, but Taured had existed for at least 1,000 years. He had never heard of Andorra. And Andorra is currently it's a fucking country right now. Very small one, but it is a country. He was given a hotel room for the night while the police tried to figure out what was going on. Even though there were armed guards posted outside his room, the man had vanished by the next morning. His passport, which had been stored in the security office at the airport, was also gone. Officials never figured out the mystery of the man from Taured.
That's awesome. Good for him. Get the fuck out of there, man.
Good for you, Ernie. I feel like his name was probably fucking Ernie or something cool like that.
That's a good one. I like that.
And one other thing that we wanted to touch on. No research here in front of us. Well, actually, there's a couple different things. Rob today contacted me about Project Pegasus.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Project Pegasus...
Yeah, which him and Andrew Bashago, we could have a whole episode about.
Yeah, Andrew Bashago was an attorney. We've reached out to him.
He is an attorney, yes.
He's from the Vancouver, Washington area, I guess. We reached out to him, and
he's a chrononaut. He claims he's a chrononaut, who's a time traveler, who worked in a project called Project Pegasus, which was a government time traveling, pretty much secret op program. As a child, they used children during this. Pretty wild.
It is pretty wild. He said that he was also accompanied in the program by Barack Obama.
Yep.
That Barack Obama knew that he was going to be the president.
Yeah, they told him that he was going to be president. They elected these children. I don't remember what there was another project before Project Pegasus.
I think this was
it was like, I don't remember what it was called.
This is related to Nikola Tesla and
Yeah.
the Manhattan Project.
Yes.
But he says that he was taken by he was put into this program as a child between the ages of 8 and 12 years old, and he was sent into prior timelines to try and alter history.
Mm-hmm.
He said that, so one of his wildest claims is that he was at the Gettysburg Address, okay? In recent years, there was a photo that came to light of the only existing picture taken of Abraham Lincoln at the Gettysburg Address.
At Gettysburg, yeah. I think this, when he tells the story, he says that he saw it in he saw it in a magazine like a US Today or something. I don't remember what magazine it was, but it's a huge publication. And he saw that picture and he was like, Dad, he showed it to his dad, whose dad worked for DARPA, who was kind of like, he was a big dog, so he was the reason that his son got into this program.
Right.
And he was like, what's my picture doing in here? Like, this is Gettysburg. And he's like, don't talk about it to anybody. Don't show anybody. Don't tell anybody that's you. We need to keep this a secret.
No. And what Rob sent to me was an episode of Conspiracy Theory.
Yeah, with Jesse Ventura.
Pretty far-fetched show.
Yeah.
But this picture is taken right from history, okay? This picture's not altered at all, but Abraham Lincoln is off in the crowd. You can, if you zoom in, you can see Abe's big fucking dome piece standing up among all these short people, but there's a oddly out of place.
Yeah, he's definitely out of place.
Redheaded child.
Yeah.
You can't tell he's redheaded, but you can tell he's got a stupid fucking haircut.
Large shoes way too big for him, oversized clothes, and he was carrying like a silver cylinder in his hand.
Yes. And he said that he had specific business with the cylinder. And you can see the object in his hands, but the thing was, he says he was in the 6th grade when this happened, and they take his 6th grade picture, his yearbook picture, and they lay it over the face of the kid pictured walking through the field here, and it is a fucking exact match.
Yeah, and they should say like even down to the shoulder dimensions, like they're exact.
Everything, the haircut, the way the jaw, just there's so many striking similarities with no explanation at all. So I'm really hoping we can talk to this guy.
Yeah,
and I have no intentions of mocking him in any way.
No, not at all.
I want to see when he is so matter of fact about everything when he speaks in these interviews online.
If we can get an interview with him, then we'll definitely do a whole episode.
Absolutely. But you can look up his work. There's he also said that he went back to the American Revolutionary War.
Revolutionary War, yeah. Spoke with George Washington.
Want to tell us about that?
Yeah, he said that he went back. He was given specific instructions to go back in time to tell, I would assume, I think it's General George Washington at that time, that he needed to pull his troops out of, I think it was New York, in order to win the war. When he arrived, he was, he began his speech, and then George Washington was, like, what am I to believe, that you are an angel boy or something like that? And he's like, no, we're a time traveler, or I'm a time traveler from the future. I don't remember what year it was at that time. And he's like, I've just been told, if you're going to eventually become the first president of what is going to be called the United States of America. You're going to be known as the father of the country.
Wow.
Like, all this. And he's like, but you have to listen to these orders. And supposedly he did, which, we all know what happened from there.
And the fucking war.
And then George Washington has said, I believe it's even like, they have it documented that he said that angels helped him win that war.
Oh, man.
Which is wild.
And he says to the boy, what are you, some kind of angel boy?
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
Crazy. Yeah, I hope we can talk to him because it's a really good story.
I would love to.
Yeah.
And to go along with something a little more modern, this goes back to just February of this year. There's a teenager online, just simply known as Noah. Now, Noah claims to be a time traveler from the year 2030. He's appeared on YouTube and several outlets, and it appears he does do interviews, but he has to have his face blacked out
Yeah.
and his voice changed. The thing is about Noah, what makes him significant is it's one of his interviews, they hook him up to a lie detector test, and he passes the lie detector test with flying colors and has no hesitation at all with any of his answers. There's no deception detected during this lie detector test at all. So he's answering all these questions about what's going to happen in the future, what his purpose is right now. But some of the claims that he makes, he says aliens will invade the world in 2028.
Oh, bring it on.
This is a little fucking far-fetched, but we're going to go with it here.
10 years, man.
According to the anonymous time traveler, a race of technologically advanced extraterrestrials will invade the planet in the not too distant future. Noah claimed the supposed aliens are more advanced in space travel and will land their spacecraft in northern Asia, northern Europe, and Antarctica. The time traveler said, "Are there going to be aliens in the future? Yes, there will. I actually have seen alien races come to Earth." Now, his next, I guess, prediction here, and I call it a prediction, but this guy, he's from that time, so This is what he claims to be a fact. Martin Luther King's granddaughter will be the U.S. president in 2030. He does say that Donald Trump is reelected in 2020.
Really?
Yes. But time traveler Noah said the U.S. presidency 20 years from now will be won by Yolanda Renee King, the granddaughter of the legendary civil rights activist. Now, the laws here have to be changed a little bit. The young girl, who was currently only 10 years old, so she's alive right now, will be around 22 years old by the time of the 2030 elections. Noah said in 2030, there will be a new president, Yolanda Renee King. She's the first president to be in the new law where you're able to be very young. She's sworn into office at the age of 21. His number 3 fact here.
I don't know if I like that. 21. I know how I was at 21.
Yeah, let's fucking drink beer with our buttholes.
I don't care who your family is. At 21, your mind is not in the right place to rule a country.
$50 says I can light this fucking Ford on fire and set the cat on fire and keep all of my nut hair. Now, third on his list here, North and South Korea relations will deteriorate into war. Despite warning diplomatic relations in the war-torn Korean peninsula, Noah claimed all talk of the reconciliation will go out the window before the year 2030. He bizarrely said tension between the two nations will deteriorate into war, but not World War III. Noah said it was basically a bunch of countries. I'm only going to say 3 of them because I don't want to cause any paradox. United States, Japan, and South Korea. However, the time traveler would not reveal any details of the conflict out of fear of causing a time travel paradox that could disrupt the future.
Yeah, which could cause things to go the way that he thinks they go.
Absolutely. And then number 4, he said governments will share time travel technology by the year 2028. The same year aliens are supposed to invade the planet, the same technology that sent Noah to 2018 will be released to the public, Noah said. In the future, there will be aliens and time travel. It will be open to the public in 2028. He said in 2030 that flying cars would be the norm. He also had some videos to support his claims. There's a lot of interviews on YouTube and various other news outlets that you can check out, interviews with Noah. He makes a lot of different claims. He claims a lot of different shit's gonna fucking happen. Whew.
What if the reason that we ever became contacted by aliens is because of us doing time traveling and opening wormholes? What if we've already opened one in deep space and that's how they got here?
I mean, it's so far-fetched to think about.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
It's not out of the realm of possibility.
science works on such a broader spectrum than we're able to comprehend.
Mm-hmm.
When we say science, okay, we are strictly talking about what we know about.
Yeah, yeah.
When you said science in 1800, when you said science in 1900, it means a completely different thing than from when you say science in the year 2018.
Definitely.
In 1800, if you go to someone and say, in 200 years, you're going to be able to see the person you're talking to on the other side of the earth in front of you. You're not going to be able to touch the person, but you can see them and you can hear their voice, and it's going to be just like they're in front of you.
And they're just like fucking alchemists back in the day. Like
They're
mixing up potions and dumping shit on you.
Yeah, they would pull their musket out and shoot you in the fucking neck.
Yeah, exactly.
Take his hot dogs. No, check his satchel for hot dogs.
It's not my francs.
That may be francs.
But it's not out of the... Oh, God, and I hate being weird about stuff, man, because one thing that's come along the territory with doing this podcast, people write us and say, what do you think about aliens farting cosmic dust and it raining down, and that's why all of our kids have 4 nipples and 3 assholes? I'm like, why are these people talking to us right now? Why does this person even think this is even fucking remotely possible? But Einstein proved a long time ago that the potential for wormholes are while microscopic, these wormholes are a thing, okay?
Yeah, definitely.
So to think about what we've accomplished in 200 years since the turn of the century, then in 1850 or whatever, the big advancement was you could take a still photograph of what's happening in front of you and document it forever. It would take minutes, sometimes hours, to take that picture that you speak of. Now we have microscopic pieces of equipment that can take pictures in the absolute flash of a second. And not only can you take that picture in the flash of a second, but you can store literally hundreds of thousands of these pictures in something not much bigger than your pinky nail. So that's the advancements we've made in just that short time. And to think about if there is potentially an alien race out there, which you have to be selfish.
Yeah.
I've said it a million fucking times.
Or naive.
You have to be selfish and naive to think that out of the entire Milky Way, the entire galaxy out there, that we are the only living life form in all of the quazillions of infinite miles in darkness and space. That we're the only fucking thing out there. No, we're not the only thing out there.
Yeah.
There's nothing here that the people that know about us, there's nothing here that they want. There's nothing here they need. They wanted cows a few years ago. They took the fucking cows and they chopped them up. Okay? But there's nothing here that they want or they need. So then we talk about this time travel stuff, and Noah says in 2030, we get the time travel thing figured out. But what we talk about now is just as recent as the 30s or 40s or whenever the Philadelphia experiment happened.
Yeah, I think I was like the 30s or 40s.
It's fucking widely believed that we sent an entire fucking destroyer or carrier into hyperspace, okay? There was guys that jumped off the bitch that got stuck. When it came back, there was people embedded into the deck. There were people embedded into the metal. This is stuff that one of the most brilliant minds in all the history of the world was working on, Nikola Tesla. To think that if they were doing that then under the veil of secrecy of the U.S. government, and to flash forward almost 100 years, to say we've made no steps forward in time travel or bending time, that we've made no steps forward in 100 years. We had made fucking hydrogen bombs that could blow off half the earth in 1945.
Yeah. Do you know Do you know anything about the CERN reactor?
I don't know.
So there's this it's like the CERN particle accelerator is what it's called.
Okay.
It's in Switzerland. It's this huge from the looks of it, it's what you would think something that would send you to the future would look like. It's a huge circle with pylons on each side.
Right.
It's in Switzerland. It's tons of countries have contributed billions of dollars into its creation. There's this article that I was just reading out about. They use this reactor to create mini black holes.
Ugh.
So they're already creating black holes.
Right.
This article that I was just looking at, a physician working at the CERN, which the European Organization for Nuclear Research, has been sucked into a mini black hole created by the Large Hadron Collider, located a few kilometers from Geneva in Switzerland. So, a French scientific informational website, blah, 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 recently reported a strange case of an unexplained disappearance of a CERN physician carrying out maintenance on the maintenance work on beam tubes guiding high-energy particles in the Large Hadron Collider. So, it's really weird because they don't know where the guy goes. They don't know where he went to. And it says, pending the decision of the nuclear supervisory authorities, CERN physicists are doing their best to try to remain in contact with the unfortunate traveler. And indeed, all does not seem lost. Each day,
God.
Scientists initiate new mini black holes in an attempt to keep touch with the physicist. Small boxes containing food, water, and flashlights are regularly thrown into each fleeing mini black holes, similar to the ones which swept away the unfortunate missing person.
Eat that. Leave us alone.
They're stunned. Have some hot dogs.
What if he's just in a fucking, he went into the closet and no one's thought to check the fucking closet yet. And he's just hanging out because he hates his fucking life and they keep on giving him food.
CERN is like a big thing.
It is, man. And just think about that. I don't know if that's real or not, but they're doing the shit.
CERN's definitely real, but I don't know if that article's real.
It is definitely, yeah, CERN is undoubtedly real.
Yeah. They're pushing particles beyond the speed of light in the CERN.
Right,
climate.
and once
That's
you
what it
start
does.
moving shit around that fast, things happen, okay?
It's totally plausible that they could be creating black holes.
I'll stand up on this table and create a black hole right now. Instantaneous.
Open that book for me, baby.
Yeah.
I got the biggest, blackest hole you ever seen, bitch.
But to go back to what I was saying, there's no reason for whomever is doing these things, making these black holes, making these wormholes. There's no reason to make guys like the Delicious Nicolicious and Rob Dog aware of what they're doing. What do they gain by making us know about these things?
Nothing.
Just like there was nothing to gain by letting the general public know that, hey, we're making a fucking nuclear bomb. We're going to wipe out Japan. That's what we're going to do. That was in the 1940s.
Yeah. Another thing that I forget that Basiago said. What's his name? Andrew?
Yeah.
Basiago, there you go. He also said that the FBI, CIA, one of them, had the actual pictures in the 70s of the planes hitting the Twin Towers on 9/11.
Jeez. That would be nuts.
Yeah, that's wild.
Hold on a second. So this is Sophie. She's my 6-year-old daughter. I think she currently has strep throat. What's up, Sophie?
Oh, that's fun.
Triangle of electricity, and she can't read the words. What are you talking about? On your TV screen? Okay, I'll come up and check it out in a minute. You want to say hi to everybody? Just talk to the microphone. Say hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
Yeah, tell them your name. Tell them, they know who you are. You were on the one ghost episode. My name's Sophie.
My name is Sophie.
All right. All right, go to your room and finish being sick so we can play tomorrow.
Good night.
Love you.
Oh.
So you heard it first here, folks. I got to go upstairs and get the electrical triangle off the TV screen.
It has words that she can't say on it.
It has words that she cannot read. She's 6.
What's a dad gonna do?
We don't read well in this house. And we can't cook fucking ramen because we don't know how long it goes in.
3 minutes.
3:30. My kids like it well done.
Okay.
There's people out there like, you cook your ramen in the fucking microwave?
I know.
Yeah, I do.
When you're impatient, that's what you do.
I had bagel bites today and I put mustard on them and I took pictures of it and I'm going to put it on Butt Chuggers Anonymous and be like, fight me.
Hey, we're not fancy. We cook stuff in the microwave. That's what we do.
Exactly. So if you've enjoyed this episode, write us, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter.
Let's pray we can get an interview with Andrew Bishago.
Yeah, I'm gonna call his law firm tomorrow.
I want to do a huge interview and a huge episode if we can.
I would love to do that.
It's so interesting.
If you're a time traveler, write us and let us know. BroHioPodcast@gmail.com. I don't know if that is the same in 2040.
Yeah, if you know how our demise comes about, let us know.
I joined 2 time travel groups on Facebook.
Yeah, you told me that.
One had north of 40,000 members, and I said, hello, my name is Nicholas. I'm from the Ohio Podcast. I'm a co-host of a comedy-driven podcast covering all of the unknown. If you are a time travel expert, or if you experience time travel firsthand, write us. Let us know. We would like to interview you. We had one person write, how much fun would it be to sit and make fun of a time traveler for an hour? I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what I want to fucking do. But... And then one guy wrote me on, Facebook Messenger. He said, I'm a time travel expert, although I've never experienced it, but here is my work. And I clicked on his fucking Angel.
Oh, yeah. It's like an Angel Fire.
I went to his Angel Fire webpage. There's like a GIF of a banana dancing back and forth, and there's MIDI music playing, like, and there's just all this stuff about all this time travel fucking weird bullshit. So I Googled a little further because I said I might reach out to this guy and see if he can do an interview. But then there was a guy from Vice.com, which they do a lot of really good pieces.
Yeah.
And he went to this guy's house, and this guy's like, you cannot take any pictures. I will take pictures, and I will send you the pictures that I like.
Oh, gosh.
That was part of the interview deal. So this guy from Vice is like, so I'm sitting in this guy's fucking house. There's fucking salsa music playing. So apparently this guy is a really big salsa dancer.
Oh, okay, cool.
We'd
Good for
have
him.
fucking ate him alive, dude. He was a goddamn raging nutball. I so wanted... But then when we did the alien abductions episode...
We're pretty respectful
with
our guests.
I thought Michael Minkin would be a nutball. But
he's awesome.
After I was done talking to Michael, I'm like, the fucking aliens are walking among us.
Yeah.
And they fucking know.
We bought his hat.
Yeah. We're wearing it right now.
Yeah, we are.
And we're buffering. Sophie said it's buffering now, so we gotta go. Thank you so much for listening, guys.
Thank you, guys.
We appreciate you so much.
We love ya.
We love you so much. Say bye, Soph.
Here she comes.
Say, this is Brohio signing off. All right. We love
She
you
said
guys.
no. Bye.
Bye.